Bienvenue à All Folks Racing PlayStation, continued coverage of the GT3 Backpain series. Now it is round 3. Round 2 was at Silverstone, and round 3 is at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. And we are here today. This is a beautiful circuit in Belgium with, of course, the Ferrari GT3, another round of the series. Unfortunately, we do not have that many drivers today, as many of them are in vacances. So we'll have a slightly I guess summarized coverage of this round. As you can see, 6 drivers. We never had so little in OFR Racing PlayStation, but fortunately we had 14 drivers in the before round, and this is going to get better in the next round as well. So it's a bit of a one-off, but what is not one-off is George Jesus on pole position, followed by Simon Allen, followed by Diego Silva, followed by Kevin Allen, followed by John Scott. Good to see him back, John Scott from Scotland. Et David Emge in 6ème place. Now we have nine laps here, and if we don't see too many action, we're going to fast forward a little bit, but for now it's the start of this race at Spa-Francorchamps. Great start from George Jesus, but also from Simon Allen. Simon Allen into the lead of this race. Simon Allen into the lead of this race, into turn 1, nicely done there by Simon Allen. Oh la 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 la! It's George Jesus and Simon Allen are side by side racing. Kevin Allen also up into third place. Look at that, running there with Diego Silva, but it's the battle between Simon Allen into the Radion for the first time now into the Camera Straight here at Spa-Francorchamps. Simon Allen is disappearing from into the lead of this race. We can see the entire field in one screenshot. That's good. John Scott also has lost a position to David Emge at the start of this race, but it is Simon Allen that continues to lead now into Lecombe, into Bruchel corner now. Continues to lead this race. Also Diego Silva, who was third on the grid, he dropped down one position to fourth place. Let's see if he can get back into Kevin Allen. Ooh la 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 la, George Jesus is putting pressure there at the exit of the Jackie X corner, now into Pouhon. Very fast section of this Spa-Francorchamps. La 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 la. Simon Allen making one gaffe there and putting himself now in very much in pressure. Here comes the Georges into Fang. They run side by side. This is good racing, but Simon Allen has to concede the lead of the race. A new leader. He's the man that already won 3 races this season in 4 races that we had. That's Georges Jesus, and now what will happen? We are very curious to see if Simon Allen is going to be able to keep the pace of the leader. Let's see. Third place is Kevin Allen, Diego Silva, and then it is ooh la 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 la. We have battle here between that is Cizon, that's 60 ans, that's David Emge, and John Scott is trying now at the bus stop chicane to make a move, but not quite possible to make a move there. And this is the end of the first lap here at the Spa-Francorchamps. The gap is less than a second at the front. We'll keep an eye on that battle, but let's keep an eye on this battle over here, because these two are the closest driver that we have on the track right now. We only have 6 drivers, so we might as well do a bit of coverage of driver that sometimes we don't have so much airtime. And now today they absolutely deserve that airtime because they turn up for this race, and David Emge making good defensive move there towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Now it is John Scott's turn to get maybe into the draft into Camel Straight. No, 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 pas possible. And look at the gap at the front. Ooh la 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 la. The gap at the front is very much reduced. So Simon Allen is definitely possible to stay within the range of threat to Georges Jesus in this race, at least so far in the second lap of this race. Let's see. Oh, the gap is opening a little bit now. Let's see these two at the Bruxelles corner. That's David Emge, the American driver, and John Scott, Scottish driver. But of them really trying to get some points here in this race, because you have almost guaranteed top C's if you do finish the race, which is quite good. Normally very competitive series. We have Scott Tavli not here, is on vacation, Darren Head in vacation. Also, Diogo Almeida not possible to come today, as Gonzalo Mota also not present today. Del Taylor and Liam Charney. These are all drivers that we saw at Silverstone, mais non pas ici at, oh la la la, John Scott there at Stavlo, trying to make a move on David Emke now in the curve Paul Frère into Blanchimont. This is a beautiful circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, but these drivers are really going for it today here at Spa. They are 5 seconds behind Diogo Silva, and of course battling like this they are losing an enormous amount of time, but that's racing. Let's look, ooh la 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 la, look at the gap at the front, as Simon Allen is now, ooh la 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 la, 2:22. That's not the greatest time ever here at Spa-Francorchamps, but it's still better than Kevin Allen, 2:24. Diogo Silva almost identical time there, and this driver are battling with another. Silva is only 1.5 seconds behind Kevin Allen, but not able to get closer. So we'll see. Ooh la 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 la, that's John Scott again trying to make a move there out of La Source into the Eau Rouge section and then into the Radion, and John Scott is behind David now for a couple of laps. This is the third lap, and ooh la 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 la, John Scott almost losing it there at the Radion, and perhaps this is now a good time to consider just a little bit fast forwarding the race, because we do not seem to have much of action. So we're going to put it on 2 times to see if something happens. This allows the replay to be a bit faster. Also allows this GT3 Ferrari to really behave like a GT1 almost. Let's see, the gap at the front is really increasing. Look at Georges is really going for it. It's going to be another victory here surely at this pace. Let's look at the lap time. Simon Allen is losing time quickly in this race, and he's going to let's see if ooh la 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 la. Let's move back here a little bit into, ooh no, this is not what I wanted to do. It's not normal speed again, as we have another lap in the books. As you can see, Jorge Jesus is absolutely flying. Is absolutely flying. 2:21.919 is absolutely flying, and look at Simon Allen, 2:23.041. It looks like Jorge is in his own category today, and look at the other driver. 2:23 for Kevin Allen, 2:25 for Diogo Silva. Some problem there in the last lap. He lost a couple of seconds there. Ooh la 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 la. Look at Diogo Silva, a little bit off track limits there. Fortunately, we don't have track limits. Here at the OFR Racing PlayStation. As we continue this race with David Emge still ahead of John Scott, we're going to go again into fast forward mode, because we have, ooh la 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 la, David Emge there, problem, as now John Scott is going to go for it at Bruxelles, and we are going to see the first overtake. No, not the first overtake, it's the second overtake of this race. No, yeah, oh, it's the second, because Simon Allen was overtaken by Jorge Jesus on the first lap of this race, first or second, can't remember, but look at this, John Scott definitely getting very closer to David Emge, and now, oh no, incident! You saw what happened there, ooh la 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 la, John Scott, what happened to him? This is not really, well, it's not really the ideal overtaking spot here at Pouron, but John Scott was he trying to overtake? It was a bit of a half-hearted attempt, as the English would say. Let's see the replay of these. As you can see, David at the exit of the Jackie X corner, he's going to go strangely. Oh, they both go off the track, amusingly. Now at Pouron, there was a little bit of a gap. Was there a gap? Not really, and John wasn't really alongside David at any point in time, so unsurprising to see John getting the worst out of it, and we lost a little bit our only battle that we had on the track. So now we are going to follow the leader and revert to doing a little bit of fast forward. As you can see, we are not going to change the driver here unless we move it back to normal speed, because we do not want to trigger the famous bug that sometimes makes these broadcasts cancel. Ooh la 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 la, look at George Zeus, he's clearly off the racing line there. We are on lap 5 out of 9, and now it seems to me that no battle whatsoever is happening in this track. Let's have a quick run through the field. Simon Allen still in second place. Then it's Kevin Allen. Let's have a look at Kevin Allen and Diogo Silva, perhaps a little bit in fast forward. The gap is 3 seconds. So not really an immediate battle there. Now there is an immediate battle, which is take 2 of John Scott versus David Emge. And these two are doing a great job here because they're keeping us entertained enough. Because no other battle is here now on lap 5 out of 9. So we're going to see again if this time around John Scott is going to make an attempt. He's certainly quicker. Look at last. He's not. Last lap was the lap that John span. That's and David Emge had a problem afterwards as well. He had a problem after because they did a 2:30.077 and John Scott 2:32.759. So they both had problems. Now they are both together again because they both had problems. John Scott seems to be a little bit faster once again than David. Now David very wide there at Stavlo corner, now into Blanchimont. The Courbe Fall Frère here is flat out pretty much on a GT3 car. Let's have a look at this battle as they go through Blanchimont. We'll keep an eye on this battle, but we're going to make it slightly faster to see if there is any action. Ooh la 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 la, David Emge very wide there at Blanchimont. The tires are starting to get not so great, as the English should say. And another lap is in the books now. Lap 6 is underway out of 9. So, ooh la 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 la, let's see if John Scott is going to try to make a move into the breaking point there at Lecombe, but doesn't seem like he's too close behind. He's not too close behind, definitely. And at Lecombe, it's still David Emge. These two are really now going for it. Look at this. John Scott is now going to go now on the inside at Bruxelles. He's going to go for it. This is take 2, and David Emge closes the door, and it is still ahead as the race leader is now 5.6 seconds ahead of Simon Allen. Then is Kevin Allen. Oh, look at this. Now this is the place that John Scott is really quick, and now he's going for it, and now we're going to see the second overtake of this race. Now this time around he's done it. Nicely done there by John Scott. We have another overtake here in this field. We had Georges Jesus taking the lead from Simon Allen, and then we have of course now change for position, top 5 position for John Scott. And 6 is of course David Emge. Let's have a fast forward a little bit this race, because as you can see from the leaderboard things are relatively stable. And ooh la 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 la, oh look at this. This is David Emge is not giving up. Oh, he's going for it again, and now with a bit of assistance of going off the track, he has recovered that position. Nicely done. Well, it involves using more than the available track, but nevertheless these two are really entertaining us in this race, lap 7 out of 9, and we continue to see this battle not over for sure, as John Scott now, oh la 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 la, this was a good move there by John Scott, going a bit over then under. Now he's side by side and he's going to go for the 5th place again, or is he? Because oh la 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 la, off the track is David Emge. Is going to have to concede surely. No, John Scott is the one that concedes, and they continue towards Camel straight into the Radion, and David Emge continues to hold on to that top 5 position. That's good to see. There you go. Here we have the leaders almost on lap number 8, almost starting. These guys are already 37 seconds behind leader Georges Jesus, but still entertaining. And look at this. This is the place that this corner here, Jackie's corner, John Scott really has a good exit from here into Pouron, and he's going to try to do it again because the first time he spun, the second time he passed, the third time no attempt yet. But we'll keep an eye on these two. Of course, until the end of the race. We have 2 laps to go at the line. 2 laps to go at the line, and you can see that the pace of the leader is now 2:22. It has dropped a little bit, 2:22.9, of course, with tire wear. But ooh la 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 la, these guys are really going for it, and they are going off the track all the time, as everyone knows we don't have track limits here at the OFR Racing Play Station. We do have, look at this, John Scott on the inside of the bus stop station didn't work again, as another lap is in the books, and the final lap will be the next one, but of course this battle will only end by the checkered flag by the looks of it. We do not have track limit penalties in OFR Racing Play Station, but we have the admins looking at it to make sure that no one gets a massive advantage, and also we have 6 drivers here in this in this race. We are going to be a bit more permissive, and these two are having fun. They both can use a little bit more than the track, and they are not really gaining an advantage towards anyone else, as John Scott is now going to go into Bruxelles again. Didn't quite work, but we are going to have to see at the usual overtaking spot. That is not really a great overtaking spot, but John Scott gets a lot of momentum here from this corner, and now he's going to go for it again at Pouron. This is his favorite. Oh, he's just zigzagging there, but not quite close enough to David, and the leader will enter the last lap very shortly. The leader will enter the last lap very shortly. Look at this, John Scott trying to go on the outside here. Doesn't quite work, but maybe he's going to get into a good position to go into Blanchimont, into the bus stop chicane. We had an overtake before by David in the bus stop chicane after using a lot more than the available track in the previous corner, but we will see if the leader on the last lap, by the way. And look at the gap. Oh, Simon Allen has problem. Simon Allen has problem, and look at this. We have all of a sudden a little bit of a mini battle, as look at this, these two are side by side, and he's going to be John Scott on the outside of the bus stop getting the position on the last lap, and David now seems to have lost a little bit of momentum. The last lap is upon us, and John Scott seems to have a decisive advantage, but now we have these 3 drivers into the same screenshot. That's Simon Allen, that was delayed by probably a mistake, because he's 13 seconds behind race leader Georges Jesus, who is going to go for victory number 4 in 5 races. Who can stop him in this championship? The answer is no one, absolutely no one. That number 2 of Simon Allen, he basically led for a few corners, not even a full lap. Georges led the entire, all the laps in this race, and he's going to go for another victory. This is, oh, Diogo Silva is now dropping back as well. Diogo Silva is now dropping back, so is David Emge from John Scott, and here is the race leader, is Georges Jesus, and one more victory for him in this championship. Let's fast forward until the last corner, because I think this is going to be like how it's going to end. And oh la 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 la, say again George Jesus that takes the checkered flag. It's again a victory for him. Yes, it is a checkered flag for George. Then is Simon Allen, Kevin Allen, and Diogo Silva. They all going to finish second, third, and fourth. Simon Allen tried his best, but today the best was not enough. Still second place, not bad for Simon Allen, who is right up there in the Piston Cup chase. That is Kevin Allen in third. Fourth place is Diogo Silva. And ooh la 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 la, John Scott had problem for John Scott. And of course, we would not get complete coverage of these without seeing what happened to John Scott on the last lap. This is very disappointing for Scottish driver. And ooh la 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 la, this is, was it at Pouron? No, it was not a Pouron. And I suspect it was unassisted because he was a couple of seconds ahead of David, so I'm wondering what on earth happened, but we are going to find out because of course this John Scott has been one of the protagonists, or did he lose it on was it assisted or unassisted? Let's see. He's going to Lecombe and oh, he just lost it on his own. Oh, just lost it completely, and David had to take avoiding action. And that, I believe, is how it ended. We'll just confirm this at the end of the lap, but these two have been the protagonists of this race for fifth place. The only real battle we had today here at Spa-Francorchamps. It's a bit disappointing we only had 6 drivers, but these things happen in the holiday season, of course, from time to time, and we do expect next round at the Nordschleife to have a few more drivers. Of course, we still have one more race in this round, because every round in the OFR Racing PlayStation is composed of 2 races exactly with the same duration. So we are going to proceed to yes, it was David Emge that finishes in 5th spot. There he is, and then is John Scott in 6th place. Now let's change our focus to the second race of this Spa-Francorchamps round. Let's see if this time around we have a few more overtakes. We had multiple overtakes between David Emge and John Scott. Otherwise, not the greatest race in OFR Racing PlayStation. Nevertheless, we cover every race independently of how interesting it is, and we are now again at the at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Here you can see this is the podium area here on the left. It's a very, not the greatest building, this paddock here at Spa-Francorchamps. Very old school circuit, to put as the English would say. The infrastructure is not that good. Nevertheless, it's definitely worth a visit. If you have never been there in Spa-Francorchamps, you don't have to go for Formula 1. You can do it for GT3 racing, the 24 hours of Spa. You can go for the World Endurance Championship, also great racing there at Spa as well. And there are other races at Spa that are always worth a visit. And now we are going to, well, do we have exactly the same grid as before? I believe it's the same grid as before. No, I think that John Scott was in no, it's exactly the same grid is in race 1. It's easier to do this with only 6 drivers, but I'm not sure if this has happened before. Nevertheless, it's a start again, and George Jesus gets a great start here with also Simon Allen, a great start, and again Kevin Allen, who now changed his livery to yellow instead of red for the second race. As they all maintain their positions, and Diogo Silva also maintains their position this time round in third place, but the leader is George Jesus this time, not Simon Allen, as they all maintain their positions actually. No, it's John Scott has lost the position to David Emge, so we have a suspicion that these two might... oh la 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 la, we have problem there for Diogo Silva. Problem for Diogo Silva. He gets... as Kevin Allen gets the jump into the Radion, Diogo Silva is ooh la la, Diogo Silva under pressure there from David Emge. Still maintains the 4th place here in this opening lap. Nevertheless, we have interesting battle here already between Kevin Allen and Diogo Silva. David Emge and John Scott, the fourth driver, and the top two have checked out a little bit already with George Jesus already in front again. Let's see if this time around that Simon Allen gives a little bit more of a battle there. But in third place, it's Kevin Allen. Now with that, ooh la la la, look at David Emge. He's really off the track, I would say, and now putting himself under pressure. And again, we have these two drivers that entertained us quite a bit in the first race. Let's see in the second race whether that is also going to happen. As they go through Stavelot corner, into Paul Frère, into Blanchimont, into the bus stop, as ooh la la la, John Scott there is running wide a little bit. First lap, and a driver that is clearly off the pace is Diogo Silva. He qualified third, but now he's in fourth place, and already a couple of 1 second behind Kevin Allen. As the gap at the front is 2 seconds basically. This looks a bit like those races that Max Verstappen wins with no competition. Simon Allen is second, third place is Kevin Allen, fourth place Diogo Silva, fifth place is David Emge, and then is John Scott. As Diogo Silva runs very wide there, Diogo Silva is in trouble. He's not managing to get the tire grip in this car that he wants, and he's actually closer to being overtaken by David Emge than actually putting pressure on Kevin Allen. So not the race that Diogo would like to have. Let's have a quick fast forward of this race. Pardon. Let's look at the race leader. The race leader, Georges is off. He's off the track. He's off the track, and Simon Allen is the new leader. Now that we were thinking about fast forwarding, is when Georges makes this mistake, and Simon Allen is the new leader. So now, not at the start, but on the second lap, we have a change of position for the lead. Let's see if Simon Allen is going to be able to hold on to this lead. Doesn't look like it, because Georges is again very, very close already into Pouron here on the second lap, and we have still quite a lot of racing to go. Nevertheless, it's good to have a race for the lead, and also Kevin Allen is not that far behind. We have a slightly different race here than we had in race 1. As uncharacteristically, as the English should say, Georges has made a mistake at Lecombe. It's very easy to lose this car at Lecombe, depending on whether you are using stable or loose setup. But in the loose setup that most people, I believe, are using, it's very easy to make a mistake at Lecombe, even with good tires, as we have at this time of the race, as these two are now trying to go for it. They're trying to use every meter of track available. Here comes Georges José. Is he going to try into the bus stop? No, he's not going to try in the bus stop. And Simon Allen is going to be the first driver that is not Georges to lead the lap in this round. There he is over the crossing line. He does lead the second lap of this race, and we have these two side-by-side racing between John Scott and David Emge. They almost came together there at the bus stop chicane. Now it's going to be where is John? Oh, there he is. He was hiding, playing hide and seek there, but he does have now look at this, into Lecombe, into the Radion, sorry, into Camel, and then Lecombe. Can Georges just make a move? He certainly is going to go for it, but Simon Allen surely is going to go defensive, or is he? Oh, let's Kevin Allen going defensive against no one there. And here he comes, Georges on the inside of and he completes the pass. That was a good move. No, because Simon Allen is going to take it again. Nicely done there between these two drivers. Nicely done, nice racing between these two drivers. Now they're entertaining us. with a lot of action. Here comes Georges into Bruxelles, and can he do it? They're running side by side, but Simon Allen, surely he's going to have the better line into the next corner. Yes, he's going to get a better line, but perhaps, oh no, Simon Allen is going to lose it. He's going to lose the position, surely, because you get to go into the grass, and of course, the grass is slow down the car, and there you go, Georges is a new leader. Now on lap 3, but his battle is perhaps not over yet. Oh, something happened to Kevin Allen. Kevin Allen is shown in the leaderboard in 6th place, and he has lost an enormous amount of time in the Lecombe. What happened to Kevin Allen? He's got a problem. He's got a problem. His span, he's got a problem, and he's not going. He lost 26 seconds. And how did that happen? Well, he did not use the reset button. I'm not sure why it took him so much time to, but let's have a look at the replay. He's coming into 3rd place, yes, and he is going to lose it. Bang! Ooh la 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 la! And now he's seems that he cannot make a reverse. Can he make reverse? Yes, he's waiting for the car to slowly. Seems that he could not use reverse. Now he's just waiting for the car to roll back, and now he's going to try to move the car forward. Is he? Can he engage into 1st gear? This must have a problem with his gearbox. Simon Allen, surely Kevin Allen. I apologize. Now he's going to go and try to. Yes, he can continue. He can continue, but he's now 25 seconds. Ooh la 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 la, this is madness here as we continue now with the race leader. It's Georges Jesus followed by Simon Allen. Up into 3rd is Diogo Silva into podium position. 4th, of course, is now David Emge, and he's ahead of John Scott. Let's see how much entertainment we're going to have here between these two drivers. But first, let's see how close the two leaders are as well. Let's see if Kevin Allen is going to be able to recover. It doesn't look like it. He's losing. He's 25 seconds away from 5th place, so I'm not sure how realistic in 6 laps he's going to have to go really quick. He's going to be quicker, surely, than John Scott and David Emge. We saw that in the previous race, but however, I don't think that 6 laps is going to be enough for Kevin Allen to get out of that 6th position. Still a good position, and he should take the points in light of not many drivers appearing in this race. Let's have a look at the race leader, and let's do a bit of fast forwarding, because we do have to crack on, as the English would say. And we'll keep an eye on the leaderboard there, particularly that battle between David Emge and John Scott. They are now separated by a few seconds. So let's see, let's fast forward this middle part of the race, because it seems to me now that George is going to go into domination mode. He's already 2 seconds ahead of Simon Allen, and Diogo Silva is not far behind Simon Allen, but not in a position to challenge. We'll keep an eye on the battle for 4th place now, but it's still 1.5 seconds between these two drivers, so maybe we'll do until the end of this lap or so that we can have until lap number 5. Interessant, this lead of this race now for Georges Jesus, followed by Simon Allen, followed by Diogo Silva. Let's see how much we can fast forward, and we have no, we don't have yet. Let's change the camera, change the protagonist a little bit, shall we, as the English should say, as now we are going to have David Emge doing a great job there in finishing 5th in the first race, and then running 4th, and really he realistically can finish 4th. He's already a few seconds behind Diogo Silva, with a good pace, 2:27. At least he's faster than John Scott. He's not faster than Kevin Allen, but Kevin Allen, of course, is very much behind after having that problem at Lecombe. So we'll see. We shall see how this is going to pan out, as the English would say. But look at this. Typically, David Emke running very wide there at Pouron. We already saw that in the first race many times, and also we. Ooh la 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 la! Now we have battle here. We definitely have battle here at Blanchimont. And look at this. John Scott is going to make a move. John Scott, the man from Scotland, is going to make a move on David Emke there side by side. I don't think that is a very good idea to go there on the outside, but he thinks otherwise. David Emke. Oh la 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 la! This was obvious that was going to happen because that was David's corner, and John Scott was a little bit in the wrong place at the wrong time. Lap 5 out of 9, the gap at the front, you can see it in the leaderboard is 4.5. We are not going to go back to this leader until the checkered flag, unless something bad happens, at which point we are going to be there also to cover it. But now, ooh la la la, David Emke making a mistake there at the exit of La Source, but gaining some time. Now, a driver that is getting closer to Simon Allen is Diogo Silva, but he's still 1.5 seconds behind, so we'll continue to follow this more entertaining battle. Oh, no, 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 David Emke at Lecombe, but now this is the same problem, except that David Emke does have a rear gear. He has reverse, as the English should say. And ooh la 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 la, this is John Scott again now into 4th place. Let's have a quick look at, let's use this opportunity. This was just, as I said, losing it at Lecombe for David Emke. Now he's 10 seconds behind 10 seconds behind John Scott. I'm not sure that's going to work. I'm really not sure that's going to work. Let's look at the race leader. Lap 7 is ongoing. Lap 7 is ongoing as we have 2 laps to go at the end of this one, and that's going to be coverage of this Spa-Francorchamps. It looks like Georges is going for 5 out of 6 here in this championship, and no one can stop him. Really, the only race he has not won. He has finished in 2nd place at Silverstone, and it was Diogo Almeida, who is not here today, that won it. And it's incredible what he's doing with this car. He's really a class apart of everyone else. Let's have a look at this battle a little bit, because we have not seen too much of these two drivers. That's Simon Allen and Diogo Silva. Simon Allen is in 2nd place, Diogo Silva in 3rd place. Is a bit better than he did in the first race. And we have one lap to go, 2 laps to go now, and we are going to remain in fast forward mode until the end. Unless you see something happen. There is David Emke in 5th place. He's not going to get there to John Scott, who is going to finish 4th place. Nice finish here for John Scott. Good amount of points for him in this round. We are on lap 8 out of 9. And let's have a look at some other protagonists of this race. Diogo Silva, then is John Scott. John Scott is running on his own, and we are going to do a little bit of following him around the lap. Let's have a look at lap time for John Scott. 2:27 the last time, and it's going to be 2:27, almost identical time. He is, however, 5 seconds, almost 5 seconds, 4.5 seconds slower than the driver in front, but he is crucially, he's also slower than David Emke on this lap, but I'm not sure David is going to have a lot of time, because he's currently, with the whole camel straight is about 8 seconds, and I'm not sure that, oh la 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 la, John Scott is making his life a little bit difficult there by running wide there after Malmedy into now the middle part of this section of this circuit, the Spa-Francorchamps. Driver Georges Jesus is about to start the last lap of this race shortly, and he's going to go for 5 out of 6. Surely now the championship is going to be his, following of course the victory of Simon Allen in the GT Vintage Championship, and previously we had Diogo Silva already won a couple of championships as well this year. So clearly in the All-For Racing PlayStation, things go and come, as the English should say. We have, of course, now George dominating the GT3 category, but we will have other championship after the summer break. Of course, we have the wildcard championship, which can be a combination of cars. So we're not quite sure what's going to happen with that championship. Which car are we going to run? But then, of course, we'll have the Transatlantic Cup, which is first year was run by the Ginetta and the second year with the Caterham, so let's see what we can do. Maybe go back to the Ginetta for it has been a while since we raced the Ginetta G40, which is of course a car that pretty much everyone likes. Maybe that could be a possibility, but for now what we have is GT3, not the greatest category in the Project Cars 2, not the greatest feeling car, especially if you've tried other sims outside of the console. This is not a great sim, but it is nevertheless an entertaining and fun category to run. Jorge Jesus is having fun. He's winning 5 out of 6 races, and he's going to do it yet again here at Spa-Francorchamps. Jorge Jesus crosses the line, second place. It is Diogo Silva is not that far behind Simon Allen, but really not able to challenge today for better than third place. There he is, third place for Diogo Silva. Fourth place is going to be John Scott. He's a few seconds behind, so we're going to fast forward to the end of the race. There he is, John Scott, with a nice fourth place here at Spa-Francorchamps. And there he is crossing the line, and then David Emge is only 6 seconds behind. He was faster, he's doing good times, 2:24, but not quite enough time to get there after that spin at Lecombe. And Kevin Allen, of course, his race compromised after that problem at Lecombe. You can see the front of Israel hanging on by just, as the English would say. Well, that completes the coverage of the fourth round of this championship of the GT3 Backpain series, and it was all Jorge Jesus, Simon Allen, both races in second. Diogo Silva was third in this race, with Kevin Allen claiming the other podium position in race 1. Next round is in the Nordschleife, and we shall see you there. À bientôt.